Hi, my name is Lauren Fiala and I'm the wine specialist at the Lodge at Geneva on the Lake, and today I'm going to teach you how to taste wine like a wine professional. So we're going to use some local wines today. We're going to use Kasichik Winery from the Grand River Valley, their Cabernet Sauvignon, the Homage Chardonnay from Marco Vineyards in Conneaut, which is far east in Ohio, and the Semillon from South River Winery, which is also located in the Grand River Valley. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the actual wine itself in the glass. So usually I will swirl it first, just to take a look at the, number one, if there's any tartrates. Usually this will be something you'll see along the glass. There'll be little dots. And the other thing you'll notice is these formations of what are called tears or legs. And these tears are something that forms because of the viscosity of the wine. A lot of people like to talk about them, but they don't necessarily know what they are. So this is a measure of how much sugar is in your wine and how much alcohol is in there, because the alcohol in the water will evaporate at different points, and that's why these tears form. So that's one thing that you will notice when you swirl that glass. The next thing you'll do is you'll tilt the glass forward. And this will give you an opportunity to see what the actual wine looks like in the core of the wine. I also recommend with red wines to pull a piece of paper with writing on it so that you can see underneath it, and if you can read through it, it's going to be a lighter wine like Pinot Noir or Gamay, whereas if you can't see through it, it's going to be something like maybe like a Zinfandel or a Cabernet Sauvignon. So that is something that you can keep a note of. That this wine here is a ruby intensity wine. It's a little bit more intense. And then we move on to Chardonnay, which has this more of a yellow core to it, as well as a little golden characteristic around the edges, and which is very different from the Semillon, which is a blending grape in Bordeaux that they use with Sauvignon Blanc, and this one has a little bit more of this yellow-green characteristic to it. So then we will swirl the glasses, and usually I'll keep it on the actual table itself and get a good momentum going. You don't want to spill it all over the place, that's why it's a little easier to do it that way. And then as you bring the glass closer to your nose, you'll notice the aromas will start to volatilize because of that swirling, and you'll be able to smell it. If it's a really pronounced wine and really intense aromas like Sauvignon Blanc or Gewürztraminer, this will jump right out of the glass and you'll be able to smell it immediately. This wine itself has characteristics of dark cherry, blackberry, and you get this kind of herbal characteristic to it as well that is very typical of Cabernet Sauvignon. The Chardonnay, in contrast, is going to have a lot of aromatics because of the way that it was aged. This wine was aged in barrel. It was a lightly toasted barrel, so you get this kind of nice warm baking spices, and you still get this kind of red delicious apple, which is really a nice characteristic to that wine. Whereas the Semillon is aged in stainless steel, so you get kind of more apple, pear, and a little bit of that stone fruit like peach. And these are all characteristics that everybody can smell thousands of different aromas, and it's how we train our palate and how we train our nose to experience these aromas is the reason why we can smell these. So next we are going to actually taste the wine. So normally I'll take one sip to just wash everything off of your palate that you had before. And then take another sip, this time swishing the wine in front of your teeth so that you can get the sensation of the tannin that's in here. So you'll get this kind of furry feeling on your teeth as you run your tongue over your teeth. This is tannin. You'll also notice that your actual mouth itself starts to dry. There's a lot of drying sensation, and that has to do with the alcohol as well as the tannin levels that are in the wine. So you'll notice with a wine like Cabernet Sauvignon, you're going to get a lot more of that drying sensation than something like Pinot Noir. Then you can try the Chardonnay. And this is a fuller body white. So I like to think of body as kind of like milk, the milk analogy. Like something like A Riesling or a Semillon might have a lighter body, so it's more like a low-fat milk, versus a Chardonnay, which is more like a cream, because the way it flows over your palate, it's a lot more filling. Then taste the Semillon. And this is one of those wines that you want to lift up your tongue, because you're going to feel that acidity. It starts pooling under your tongue. This is something that you'll notice also on the side of your tongue. So in the diagram that I'm showing you right now, you can see where you're going to get a lot more sensation on the sides of your tongue than you will in other areas.
We can only taste 5 things: bitter, sweet, sour, salty, and umami.
So that is how you taste wine like a wine professional.
For more information on how to get these wines, please go to ohiowines.org and click on the winery that you're interested in getting the wines from. Tune in next time as we are going to discuss Chardonnay and what makes it the ultimate winemaker's grape. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.